Welcome, Projector family. Thanks for taking the time to be here today. And I'm really inspired to share with you what's been coming through me and also in some ways, Charlie, some potent information that I feel will be beneficial to maybe you in this moment as projectors, and why we're here and what we may be feeling right now in the collective, and support along our journeys as we begin to move into our role as guides, speaking in the year 2027 and beyond, as we move towards that, what this process is and how we can be with each other and ourselves in a way with a lot of compassion. So with that being said, let's just take a moment to ground. That's a good word for us every day. Taking a moment to ground into our beings. Taking some deep breaths. If you're in a space where you can shut down your eyes, that always helps. Just coming into center, into our root, into our own energetic field. Maybe feeling yourself seated down on the floor or on a chair, just feeling that space where you're being supported. Just dropping down into that area for a few moments, even feeling your feet rooted into the floor. Sighing out the mouth. This helps relax. And if you want an extra credit bonus for helping you just come to this moment and relax and let go, you can open up your mouth and either fake or actually yawn. It's giving yourself that reset. Beautiful reset for our nervous systems. Okay, well, this has been inspired by many different events that have been happening in my life personally, and then also to my friends and husband, a lot of my projector tribe, if you will. I've been noticing that we're all going through some deep levels of healing, and I wanted to maybe normalize this or affirm this, that if life is trudging up some of our deeper wounds, or we're beginning to see the veil being lifted with parts of ourselves that we thought we understood, or how we oriented in the world, or traumas that we thought we didn't have or that we thought we understood. If we are feeling like things are being uprooted from the depths of our being, this is, from my understanding, somewhat intentional for the projectors at this time. We have an open sacral, as you know, and as we know that the year 2027 is coming, and there is going to be a transmutation in the emotional center for all of humanity in Gate 55, which has all to do with emotions. And the sensitivity of the projector picks up the astrological energies that are happening more sensitively because we have an open sacral. So we have this open center that is going to absorb the environment. That's what we're designed to do. And what is seeming to come true to me, it's a hypothesis, is that what the rest of the world, the generating world, will be going through more palpably in 2027 and on. It's not going to be a one big old event. It's going to be a process of this transmutation coming into effect that have to do with our emotions, that projectors were starting to feel the remnants of that coming through now. Even if there's just little threads of this transmutation starting to make its way onto the planet, we are going to be going through our process of becoming in better relationship to our wounded self. And I say this as a disclaimer, if this feels true for you, rock on. And if you're like, this doesn't sound like anything that I'm going through, please don't take this as science. This is all just coming through in somewhat channeled ways, and wanted to just share this to see if it lands with you, and offer it as support to normalize and maybe bring some understanding. We as projectors are the guides of the future. And if we can look at our planet, and we can look not just our planet, but look at society, our culture for the last thousands of years, the human species has been emotionally immature in our ability to be with emotions. And oftentimes, in our families and in life, we have hid away from really painful emotions. And I say, for projectors growing up and not being raised as a projector, being raised as a generator, can have a level of misattunement, of trauma to just that in and of itself, that our needs weren't met. And, I've talked a lot about the different masks that we wear and the different things that we do to try to fit into the society, but it ends up leaving us feeling unmet, unseen, bitter, sick, frustrated, because we've been trying to fit into a square hole when we've been round. And in saying that, there's a lot of emotions that have been tucked away into the body that haven't been expressed, that could be being brought up to the surface now in a way to feel, in a way to hollow out your being from these emotions that are weighing down your energy, that are weighing down your fullest expression of your true projector self. And there has been a lot of intense astrological transits this month that can be confronting, that can be feeling like the world is, or your world is destabilized, or what's real, or shadow parts coming to the surface that have been tucked away. And if this is true for you, I hope there's space in your being to receive this as a liberation, and that you are working with yourself with compassion, with grace, with the ability to know that this is for the highest good for you, even if it feels like torture. I've said, I don't know where I read this, it's not my original quote, but I love it, and it felt true for me, that this process for me at times can feel like baptizing a cat. Aspects of myself that I'm looking at, or this sense of a different veil being lifted, and seeing things that I have never seen before, and at times can feel painful. I had, many moments of just crying, many moments of holding myself. And every time I go through this passage, a newer awareness comes through me, or a stronger sense of self, or an ability to be with uncomfortable emotions. I have noticed a greater capacity to hold myself in places that have previously felt too painful, and sometimes even too shameful. And so I want to just always commend all of us projectors doing our work right now, existing in this collective, and know that, I say this as a caveat, we also are feeling the collective gunk right now. The world is going through this major transformation, and there's a lot of heavy energies out there. So we also, on top of our own inner work, we're also picking up on that as well. And so, like I said, so much tenderness and nourishment for us at this time, because we are processing a lot, we are alchemizing a lot, and it just feels so on point and on purpose that I know many of us are like, we're supposed to be the guides of the future. Well, what does that even mean? What am I guiding? And it feels like right now we are in the training grounds of building our emotional resilience, of building our capacity to look within. So much of this generating life has been addicted to external measures. Everyone is looking outside to feel good about themselves. And according to Ra and the human design system, 2027 is a call to go within for all humans. And so, of course, projectors, for us to be the guides of this process, when we're going to be looked at as guides, of course, we would have to go through this initiation. Of course, we will have to go and be with our emotions as well, so that we are emanating the energy, the projector essence, our vibration through a vessel, our body, a vehicle that is hollowed out and is not stuck with dormant, dense emotions from our past that all of us have, all of humans have. The difference between us and the rest of the humans is when we're holding onto these denser emotions, fear, anger, sadness, grief, traumas, they wreak havoc on our body because our body was designed without a sacral center to emit a frequency that is a lighter vibration. And so when we're holding on the denser emotional states, it weighs us down more, it exhausts us more. That's why in our design, we're instructed to play or to create or to be in a higher frequency, because that's where we find health. That's where life wants us to be. So I say that to you again in hopes that this can confirm or normalize or validate a moment of perhaps emotional turmoil or upheaval, or feeling like life can be feeling like it's swirling or there's an instability. Life is working on your behalf. And I say that, and, a part of myself rolls my own eyes, right? Like, oh yeah, this feels challenging. How is this for my behalf? I am feeling like I'm losing my mind at times. And the truth is, that's what ultimately, in a safe way, life is wanting us to lose our minds, not in the way that it's chaotic, but the mind that's gripped on fear, the mind that's gripped to ego, the mind that is gripped onto status and material wealth and accomplishment and power. We are being called to balance the mind with the heart. And the heart carries our emotions. The heart carries a connection point that our culture and our humanity has been disconnected from. So falling back into place, falling back into balance, falling back into that space can feel like a death, losing a sense of an identity, thinking that, I was this, but really I'm seeing that there's this part of my personality too that was hiding. That's a death of a construct. As I'm speaking, there's the Buddhist teaching, right? Part of finding this place of equanimity in life, of peace and tenderness, is to subscribe to the level of there's nothing to attach to, right? That every day we're a new being, and that once we let go of needing a solid construct and actually connect with the union of oneness, of all of us being one, that we all share that connection point in the heart and become unattached to needing things to be a certain way, there is a level of reprieve. There is a level of peace that comes from that. So with all that being said, I want to honor you wherever you are in this process, because it's not easy being a human right now. And on top of that, we came as this new species that isn't meant to be like everybody else, that isn't designed to operate like everybody else. And we are finding that out about ourselves right now in this moment in time where there is a great change. We're not projectors that were born 100 years ago. It's right now. 2027's here. So know that your soul came with an extra coating of courage and warriorness and softness and capacity to do this, and I say this as my psychology background. Just if you are at a moment too, I just feel like saying it because I'm bringing such news of challenging times, and that to always reach out for support if you need it. We aren't meant to do this alone, whether it's with a therapist or a dear friend or a mentor or a community. We aren't meant to do this alone. And there's people that can help through these processes as we are traversing new times as a collective. And know that you aren't alone. I want to say that. I hope this sheds some light on some things that could be up in your world if you're noticing this and you're still listening and life's been super peachy for you and you've been, thriving. That's epic too. There's no one size fits all. Keep holding down that frequency, and that's absolutely okay to be in those states where life feels good and there isn't the level of depth and transformation happening. Okay, beautiful projectors. Maybe because this call was a bit more on the, not the greatest news. Maybe it was great news because when I feel that, there's stuff happening going on, and it's not just me, I feel a little bit better, but maybe we can all just shake it out a little bit, shake our hands, shake our body, know that even through transformation and death and all of this, we can also take care of ourselves, and just movement and touching the earth, putting on our favorite song, we can bring that lightness into this process, which is highly, highly encouraged as well. So I hope you do something that's nourishing for yourself today, throughout the week, that you make time, even when things are challenging, to smile or to bring out that little child or that inner teenager in whatever way, and take pauses and come back to yourself. All right, so much love. Have a beautiful rest of your day or evening, wherever you are. Take care.